Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Another secondary school opens, this time at Tuschen on the east bank of GECOM. Migrant workers are filling key gaps as Guyana's economy grows. GECOM has banned the use of cell phones at polling stations. And the Carter Center praises Guyana's recent electoral reforms, but warns key weaknesses and concerns remain. Tuschen Secondary School has officially opened its doors on the east bank of GECOM, and by night it will serve as a branch of the University of Guyana's College of Medical Sciences. The dual-use facility means hundreds of secondary students will benefit from modern classrooms by day, while health sciences students gain access to higher education in the evenings.
Today is much more than the commissioning of a secondary school. Today is about a new beginning for many families and many children. Today is about new opportunities. Today is about you here in Tuschen and in Region 3 adding to your regional asset a piece of infrastructure that is second to none in our country. Today, as Priya said, we are not giving you something that is halfway there. Today we are delivering to the people of Region 3 a school that can match any other such school in the entire CELAC region.
The $930 million state-of-the-art school caters to more than 800 students, with 24 classrooms, science labs, an IT suite, a TVET center, a library, cafeteria, and a multi-purpose hall. Officials say it will ease overcrowding in Region 3, expand access to first form places, and better align education with workforce needs.
In Region 3, we do not have space or seats for about 865 children. We cannot place them into a secondary school. And from then to now, we have completed the Westminster Secondary, which is a state-of-the-art secondary school holding over 800 children. We have built the De Willem Secondary School. Today, President Panali commissioned this beautiful new Tuschen Secondary School.
Enrollment begins next term with phased intake to allow smooth timetabling, teacher deployment, and student support. With inclusive design features, counseling rooms, and enhanced security, the school is built to serve as both a modern secondary institution and a higher education hub for the region. The race to Guyana's 2025 elections continue with a Partnership for National Unity, APNU, presidential candidate Orbie Norton, promising to develop hinterland communities by empowering its residents. During a political rally in Region 9 yesterday, Norton highlighted his party's intention to educate and train residents so that they could benefit from various opportunities coming to their communities.
We believe that education and training are important to your development. Why is it when there is a contract in the Rupununi, somebody has to come from the coast to implement that contract? That is because the system fails to train you to do it. And we're saying to you, we're going to have programs to train persons in the hinterland communities to improve their abilities so that they can get contracts.
Norton insists that hinterland residents, just like those in other communities across the country, are entitled to become businessmen and women. He pledged to support them through empowerment initiatives, including the development of a group of small contractors.
And the law provides for it. The law provides for 25% of contracts to go to small contractors. We are going to create a core of small contractors in the hinterland that can carry out the work in the hinterland.
According to the politician, it is critical to train particularly young persons in construction, mechanics, welding, and other fields to ensure that villages have within them those who could perform those services required within the communities. He reiterated that outsiders should not have to come to hinterland communities to conduct business that residents could have otherwise provided. He noted an APNU government will provide the opportunity for every region to thrive in isolation. Economist Richard Rambaran says migrant workers are playing a critical role in Ghana's rapidly growing economy. He noted that their knowledge and skills have helped to fill major gaps in the labor market. Rambaran, who worked with the International Organization for Migration on a report analyzing Ghana's labor market, shared his views in an exclusive interview with Ignite News Insights.
We have obviously modeled the labor market and examined that even if one takes all of the workers in Guyana who are unemployed, underemployed, or in part-time work, and we place them completely into the labor force, based on the rate of growth of the economy, we will still need to fill the labor market gap. That is to say, the gap between supply and demand.
He stressed that Ghana's expansion has created new areas of service where the necessary skills have not traditionally existed.
We could not have, as a country, been able to realize our full rates of economic growth. We would not have been able to realize our full potential without support from migrant workers or expatriate workers, or migrant workers and expatriate workers, the two of course being distinct. We would not have been able to. And the reason why is that the economy is expanding so rapidly.
Rahman warned that failing to close these gaps would be like leaving money on the table, as Ghana would not fully realize its growth potential. He added while migrants and expatriates are helping to meet today's demand, Ghana must also retrain and upskill its own workforce, so locals can take over those roles in the future. The Ghana Defense Force is pushing back against recent criticism in both social and traditional media. According to the GDF, it remains fully committed to defending the nation's sovereignty and ensuring public safety. In a statement, the GDF said all missions, whether protecting borders, upholding the rule of law, or responding to emergencies, are carried out with professionalism, integrity, and sacrifice. The military added that remarks casting doubt on its role overlooked the dedication of the men and women in uniform, who serve all Guyanese with impartiality and discipline. It emphasized that the joint services operate without fear or favor, regardless of politics, religion, ethnicity, or social standing. The GDF also called on stakeholders and commentators to engage constructively, stressing that national security is a shared responsibility and a cornerstone of Ghana's independence and freedom. When returned, new election rules ban cell phones at polling stations. The OAS Observers Mission is led by former Jamaican Prime Minister, and the Carter Center's pre-election report highlights progress and ongoing concerns.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Welcome back. GECOM is moving to protect ballot secrecy by banning cell phones inside polling stations for the September 1st elections. According to the Ghana Elections Commission, the move also aims to prevent vote selling. In a statement last evening, GECOM explained that the ban is designed to stop voters from photographing their ballots, a practice linked to illicit vote trading. The measure is grounded in the Representation of the People Act. Under the rules, voters must switch off their phones before entering and leave them on designated tables while casting their ballots. Polling officials and accredited party agents will monitor voters, but GECOM stressed that observation will still respect voter privacy. Voters will also need to present a national ID card, passport, or driver's license, which will be held by the presiding officer until their ballot is cast. GECOM warned that photographing ballots or selling votes are serious electoral offenses, carrying fines of up to $65,000 and 6 months in prison. The Commission is urging all voters to comply, saying these measures are crucial to protect the integrity and transparency of the elections. In more election news, former Jamaican Prime Minister Bruce Golding is leading the Organization of American States Electoral Observation Mission for Ghana's 2025 general and regional elections. The mission, which brings together 27 experts and observers from 18 countries, has begun deployment. Observers will monitor electoral organization and registries, electoral technology, political electoral financing, electoral justice, and the political participation of women, as they analyze the process in a structured and technically rigorous manner. According to a release from the mission, they will oversee both the discipline services vote on August 22nd and the main poll on September 1st, watching from the opening of polling stations through to the counting of ballots. Ahead of voting, the mission will meet with authorities, political parties, and civil society. A preliminary report with recommendations will be released after the elections. This is the 7th OAS mission deployed to Guyana. Another electoral observation mission, the Carter Center, has released its preliminary report on Ghana's 2025 general and regional elections, noting reforms since the disputed 2020 polls, but stressed that many recommendations remain unimplemented. The center welcomed changes made in 2022, including decentralized tabulation in 3 key regions, electronic posting of results, and continuous voter registration. The official list of electors now carries more than 757,000 names. It urged GECOM to publish clear tabulation procedures to build public confidence. According to the center, campaigning has been mostly peaceful, though concerns were flagged over restrictions on new parties' access to public spaces and interior flights, as well as the removal of partisan flags and delays in campaign approvals. Concerns were raised over U.S. sanctions on WIN presidential candidate Azrin Mohammed, which have led to local banks closing WIN members' accounts. The center cautioned against overcompliance undermining democratic rights. The center also raised alarms about allegations of intimidation of public servants, business owners, and journalists, and called for respect for freedom of expression and association. It further highlighted weaknesses in campaign finance rules, the use of state resources for campaigning, and unequal state media coverage favoring the ruling party. Vice President Barra Jagdeo welcomed the report, but said it relied too heavily on allegations and omitted key facts, issues he plans to address at his press briefing on Thursday. Observers for this year's elections attended an orientation and briefing session hosted by the Ghana Elections Commission earlier today. The exercise for both local and international observers was held at GECOM's Georgetown office, with just 11 days to go before the general and regional elections. GECOM Chairperson Justice Retired Claudette Singh said the presence of observers reflects a shared commitment to democracy and to safeguarding the integrity of the electoral process.
The purpose of this session is to equip you with a comprehensive understanding of Guyana's election processes, from the pre-election preparations to the peri-election conduct and post-election activity. Our goal is to share with you the knowledge and insights necessary to effectively observe every stage.
Justice Singh added the role is critical in ensuring the elections are free, fair, transparent, and credible, while also building public trust in the results.
Your observation will be critical in identifying areas of strength as well as areas where improvements may be needed, ultimately contributing to the continuous enhancement of our electoral system. We encourage active participation and discussion towards the end of this session. Your insights and perspectives are highly valued, and we believe that through collaborative engagement, we can collectively ensure a robust and credible electoral process.
The chair emphasized that GECOM is committed to providing necessary resources and support to fulfill the observers' mandate. In addition to equipping observers with information to effectively undertake their duties, the orientation delved into the legal framework governing elections in Guyana, including the Representation of the People's Act, in an effort to ensure observers are fully aware of established procedures and regulations. When we come back, PPC Manifesto includes plans to boost arts and culture. Ghana is featured in a global sustainable tourism series, and Malachi Austin pushes for a podium finish at the Junior Pan Am Games.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
You're watching Night News on 6 at 6. Thanks for staying with us. The PUC is promising major investments in arts and culture to strengthen Ghana's identity and grow tourism. Speaking about the party's manifesto, President Dr. Irfan Ali said that central to Vision 2030 is supporting Guyanese involved in arts and culture once the party is re-elected.
Every single one in the arts and culture, whether you are a writer, whether you're a poet, the fashion industry, we're going to invest a lot of money to support our young people, support the arts, support our fashion industry, and to make that part of our national identity, to create avenues through which these skills can be developed, upscaled, harnessed, and the economic empowerment and bringing in that market opportunity for all of them.
Ali emphasized that the party plans not just to preserve the sector, but to make it marketable and economically sustainable. Arts and culture, he said, must play a meaningful role in Ghana's ongoing economic growth.
Where we can host international events, where our local talent can have exposure. Our local talent can find a stage with international talent so that they have exposure and they benefit from what you call the pass-on or knock-on effect.
The incumbent president highlighted plans for a modern indoor entertainment facility, music and dance studios in every region, literacy clubs for literature performers, and expanded arts education in schools. These initiatives, he said, will showcase local talent, attract international recognition, and create new opportunities. According to the president, these sleeping aspects of Ghana's culture are vital for developing the country's tourism industry. Destination Ghana has been featured in the Global Sustainable Tourism Council's first digital series, Travel Redefined: Tourism for People and Planet. Produced with UK-based content creator Content with Purpose, the series highlights sustainable tourism practices worldwide and is available for streaming online. 3 short films focus on Ghana's Rupununi region, celebrated for its community-led conservation tourism. The stories showcase Yupakari Village and Kaiman House, where local knowledge, cultural traditions, and ecotourism efforts work together to protect endangered species while generating sustainable livelihoods. Viewers are taking on experiences like tracking giant anteaters across the savannah and seeing families earn income through cultural preservation. Ghana's approach is described as regenerative tourism, empowering guides, researchers, and hospitality workers, while keeping economic benefits within local communities. Ghana Tourism Authority Director Kamal Bash said the feature shows that tourism here goes beyond recreation. It protects wildlife, supports youth, preserves traditions, and demonstrates the authentic, sustainable, and transformative nature of Guyana's tourism sector. In sports, Ghana's Malachi Austin is poised to compete for a podium finish at the Junior Pan American Games after qualifying for the men's 400-meter final. Austin secured his place in the final with a third-place finish in his semi-final, clocking a time of 46.69 seconds. The final is scheduled for 18:20 hours today, with Austin set to run out of lane 3. Meanwhile, Kalisa Smith will contest the women's 200-meter semi-final, while Shamar Horatio will feature in the men's 200-meter semi-final. Ghana has already claimed 2 bronze medals at the Games, courtesy of swimmer Raekwon Noel and the 4x400-meter mixed relay team. Newcastle United have reopened talks with Brentford over an improved £40 million deal for striker Ioane Wissa. The BBC reports that after early negotiations stalled, both clubs are now in direct discussions. Newcastle is offering £35 million up front, with a further £5 million in add-ons. Their previous bid was valued at £30 million. Sources say the offer still falls short of Brentford's valuation of the 28-year-old DR Congo forward. Wissa met with Brentford owner Matthew Benham on Tuesday, prompting today's renewed talks. Early this week, Wissa removed all references to Brentford from his Instagram, signaling his desire to join Newcastle. The forward scored 19 Premier League goals last season and has made it clear he wants the move. Tensions began in July when Wissa left Brentford's pre-season camp early, reportedly threatening not to train or play if the club blocked his transfer. Relations have since slightly thawed, with Wissa returning to first-team training while continuing to press for a move to St. James Park. When we return, we'll take a look at TNT's July inflation trends, the latest U.S. sanctions against ICC officials, and Sweden's iconic Kiruna Church making its historic move. Welcome back. Trinidad and Tobago's inflation held steady in July, even as key grocery prices shifted. Price drops in key grocery items saw Trinidad and Tobago's food index fall in July, even as the overall inflation rate held steady at 1.5%. The country's Central Statistical Office says the figures was unchanged from June 2024 to June 2025 period, but higher than the 0.3% recorded for the period July 2023 to July 2024. The All Items Index for July 2025 climbed to 125.7, reflecting a modest increase of 0.1 point or 0.1% compared to June 2025. Food and non-alcoholic beverages fell by 0.6%, driven by lower prices for fresh chicken, cucumbers, carrot, Irish potatoes, rice, garlic, sweet potatoes, soybean oil, steak, and hot peppers. But those declines were partially offset by higher costs for tomatoes, okras, balange, green sweet peppers, edos, melon, pumpkin, soft drinks, oranges, and pimento. The net effect was a small dip in the food and beverage sub-index, while overall inflation remained stable. In international news, the Trump administration is once again targeting the International Criminal Court, ICC. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced today that 4 more ICC officials have been sanctioned for their work on cases involving alleged U.S. and Israeli war crimes. Those sanctioned include ICC Judge Kimberly Prost of Canada and Nicolas Galau of France, along with Deputy Prosecutors Nazat Shamim Khan of Fiji and Mame Mandiye Niang of Senegal. The move comes under a February executive order by President Trump, which authorizes punitive measures against ICC personnel accused of acting against U.S. or Israeli interests. The State Department said Prost and Galau were sanctioned for rulings that allowed investigations and arrest warrants, including those issued for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. The ICC issued those warrants in November 2024, citing alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. Trump had also imposed similar restrictions on ICC officials during his first term, after the court authorized a probe into U.S. actions in Afghanistan. Finally, this evening, Sweden's iconic Kiruna Church, or Kiruna Kyrka, is on the move this week, traveling 3 miles east to a new city center as part of the town's relocation. The massive undertaking is necessary because the world's largest underground iron ore mine is threatening to swallow Kiruna. Thousands of visitors have flocked to see the spectacle. The church, a wooden neo-Gothic landmark completed in 1912, was lifted on beams and wheeled across town, with a blessing from Vicar Lena Tejarenberg on Tuesday. The journey is expected to conclude this afternoon. Built as a gift from the state-owned LKAB mining company, the church was voted Sweden's best building of all time in 2001. It is designed in the Sami style and will reopen in the new location by the end of 2026. This week's move has become a media event, featuring performances and visit from King Carl XVI Gustaf. Engineers have widened roads and dismantled structures to guide the 741-ton, 131-foot wide building along its route at speeds of less than a mile per hour. While the move fascinates tourists, some local Sami leaders warned that the ongoing mine expansion could disrupt reindeer migration and livelihoods. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nekram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.